Ladies and gentlemen, I was going to do this on H.A. Goodman's other channel, but I just figured I would do this here. Donald Trump campaign disputes claim that photo of president as Rocky Balboa is doctored. Do you understand what's happening here? This is Newsweek. Do you understand what's happening here? It's absolutely brilliant. And it's the reason President Trump's going to win in 2020. It's the reason he's going to defeat Hillary Clinton again. I wrote in the Huffington Post, Clinton 2020 is a reality. Get ready for 8 years of Trump. I wrote that in 2017, February, even before I was a Trump supporter. But this is all you need to know. So, November 29th, 2019, Donald Trump campaign disputes claim that photo of president as Rocky Balboa is doctored. Okay, do you understand what's going on here? I think you do. If you're watching this channel, you know what's going on. Trump is playing them, and they don't know what to do because you're talking about a Democratic Party and media that is so out of touch with the average American, is so incredibly out of touch. It's hilarious. But let's read this. Donald Trump's re-election campaign has claimed there is no evidence a picture of the president with the body of Rocky Balboa is doctored. This is going to be like 10 Pinocchios on the Washington Post. They don't get it. They're not in on the joke. They don't understand. They don't get why the Orange Menace is so popular and amusing. They want somebody to say, well, you know, the NATO intervention in Libya didn't work out. The country was absolutely decimated, and there was about 10 years of chaos and strife and civil unrest, but it's presidential. We don't know what we did. It was a NATO intervention. We removed an authoritarian. It didn't work out well, and it's, President Obama said it was one of my, worst mistakes ever. They want that. They don't care. They don't get it. You have, with President Obama, you have a very presidential response to Flint. He drank Flint water under the guise of it being safe to drink. He deceived people. When it wasn't safe, it was still poisonous. He stated, well, Libya was my, biggest mistake. But there's nothing presidential about being diplomatic when you're talking about your foreign policy absolutely decimating the country and tens of thousands of people perishing because you pushed for an intervention you shouldn't have, because you furthered Bush's failed foreign policy. There's nothing presidential about that. And so when people say, well, Trump, this is the president of the United States. Can you imagine? Well, yeah, I'd rather have this with record low unemployment, record low Black and Latino unemployment. I'd rather have this with record highs in the stock market, household median income up, signing the First Step Act. I'd rather have this with a president who engages in a great deal of good, has achieved a great first president to step foot in North Korea, bringing home Americans or withdrawing Americans from harm's way, scaling back U.S. foreign policy. Yeah, I want a president to scale back U.S. foreign policy. That's why I'm voting for President Trump, and that's why I like Tulsi Gabbard. But when people say, oh my God, could you imagine what he's doing with the Rocky Balboa? The Post tweeted on Wednesday that it was unclear why the commander-in-chief had published the doctored photo. Yeah, of course it's a doctored photo. Well, I mean, why would you have to Why would you have to state the obvious? And reported the image appeared to come from the film's Rocky III's promotional materials. Responding to the Washington Post article, that Trump had doctored a photo of his head onto actor Sylvester Stallone's body, Team Trump jumped in on jokes about the image, tweeting Washington Post claims without evidence that Donald Trump shared a doctored photo. Washington Post claims without evidence that Donald Trump... They don't get it. So, Newsweek, Donald Trump campaign disputes claim that photo of President as Rocky Balboa was doctored. Oh, don't you understand? It's a disputed claim. The president's eldest son, Donald Trump Jr., also jokingly suggested the picture of his father with the body of Sylvester Stallone in the 1980s is legitimate. I've heard from reliable sources that it's not doctored. Why would you tweet? Why would you write that it was a doctored photo if you're the Washington Post? But the Twitter's users still had a lot of fun commenting on a flattering image. So, this is what Trump does all the time. And they don't get it. They keep on talking about Trump's base. There are a lot of progressives who are voting for Trump. I'm a former, I don't even know if that word exists. I used to think of myself as a progressive, but apparently they don't care about foreign policy. So if you care about foreign policy, you want to bring home Americans, you vote for Trump. That's how you go from Bernie to Trump. People say, how do you go from Bernie to Trump? Read the article below in the pinned comment. But there are a great many people on the left who are voting for Trump. There are. Actually, the BET founder, just the other day, today actually, stated that Trump's on his way to re-election. He is going to be re-elected, and he's going to defeat Clinton again. And it's going to be the end, the absolute end of the current liberal paradigm. They've been wrong on everything. People say, oh, you're wrong on a lot. No, I'm not. Bernie Sanders was cheated. Clinton, her crimes were covered up. But I was right on the biggest issue, that Clinton lost the election. I said Clinton is going to lose to Trump in 2015 when she was a juggernaut. Now, the Madam Cyberhack campaign is pretending. The Golden Moo is going to descend or ascend above the DNC, but they're pretending now. Oh, well, we don't really want to run. Yeah, we do. And people are not going to understand. They think that he's this like authoritarian. He signed prison reform, and there's record low black and Latino unemployment, and he wants to bring home Americans from counterinsurgency conflicts. What part of foreign policy do the socialists and the anarchists and the liberals don't get? That he's actually the liberal when it comes to foreign policy. It's true. Max Boot and Bill Kristol are voting Democrat. So, Max Boot and Bill Kristol are voting Democrat in 2020. And they voted Democrat in 2016. So, I mean, it's like, this isn't rocket science. This is really not rocket science. President Trump's personality is one of the reasons I like him. How can you like his personality? He's so belligerent. Yeah, when was the last time the media treated Trump as a president? When was the last time George Stephanopoulos said, hey, what drives you? What motivates you? Yeah, that kind of softball questions that all presidents get. When was the last time the media, the Washington Post, the New York Times, the establishment viewed him as a legitimate president? Because he is a legitimate president. But in their minds, he's an anomaly. Because he represents the antithesis of everything they thought possible. They thought Clinton was going to be the first female president. And they're going to say the same thing in 2020. Hillary Clinton is going to save the Democratic Party momentarily. She's going to become the nominee. And she's going to lose again. And she'll run in 2024. She'll run in 2024. Hillary Clinton is going to run again in 2024 after she runs in 2020 and easily becomes nominee. They're not going with Biden. That's a pathetic joke. They're not going with Warren or Bernie because both President Obama stated Biden doesn't have what it takes. He'll intervene if Bernie gets close, and he doesn't like Warren. So in one Politico article, he basically did away with the three top contenders. And then Buttigieg has controversy after controversy regarding things he said in the past and present. There is no Democratic Party. It's a political machine that galvanizes different factions that can't stand one another. There are different factions that, well, they say that there are theories that, oh yeah, these factions, these different like groups, they're gonna, rally around or unite around a certain cause. No, each group within the among the left in the United States of America, there is no cohesive, unified front. It's like completely chaotic, divisive, and they can't stand one another, and it's complete like mayhem. They don't like one another. You have socialists and you have anarchists and you have progressives who hate the Democratic Party, and the Democratic Party can't stand them either. You just have people who do not like one another. It's not the same. Like when I became a Trump supporter, nobody bothered me because then nobody said, "Well, why are you a Trump supporter?" Well, foreign policy. That's the main thing. In addition to, he goes after Comey, Strzok, McCabe, Clapper, Brennan, very corrupt intelligence chiefs. And he's the first president to step foot in North Korea. And there's record low unemployment. And he signed the First Step Act. And he's addressing the $400 billion trade deficit. But, I mean, aside from that, nobody, when I was a Trump supporter, and I became a Trump supporter, everyone welcomed me. They were nice. They were kind. They were, people were, I actually, look, people say, oh, well, Trump supporters are the, really, the bigotry is there. No, they're not. Everyone knows that H.A. Goodman is Jewish. And when I used to have my live streams, but I had live streams a while back, and there were like, a lot of anti-Semitic trolls sometimes that would, go onto my live stream because there would be a lot of, like, a couple channels that were just, or one channel in particular. Guess who defended me? All the Trump supporters who watch my channel. And progressives who still watch my channel as well. But the Trump supporters defended me. Okay, so you're looking at everything you heard about Trump supporters, not true. It's complete propaganda from the Democratic Party. And when they say Trump's base is you, me, the average Republican, the disgruntled person on the left who is like, you know what, the heck with this. Trump's a good president. I'm tired of this nonsense. If it ends the Democratic Party, great. And of all different ethnicities. We just had one poll that said African Americans support black voters are voting, 30+% for Trump. Now, I don't know if that's 100% accurate, but, I think it was a Rasmussen poll. And you have the BET founder, who's a billionaire, stating that Trump is on his way to winning. Clinton's going to run again. She knows she's going to lose. She doesn't care. In her mind, she can still win. The whole thing, the past 3 years, do you think the past 3 years with the indoctrination, you're talking about like obsessive indoctrination. The Russians cheated because they were so afraid of God. Yeah, right. They got the goods on both Bill and Hillary. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Bill Clinton met with Vladimir Putin at his home. Are you kidding me? Oh, yeah, they're so afraid. Oh, so afraid. Yeah, right. Give me your thoughts below. Check out H.A. Goodman's other channel right now. Trump is hilarious. Trump fights. Trump is belligerent, and I want him to be belligerent. I can't stand the establishment, diplomatic, two-faced, phony, fake personalities. I can't stand when President Obama stated, Libya was my biggest mistake. Oh, well. That's what happens. Could you imagine if Trump destroyed a country? Could you imagine if he engaged in a failed NATO intervention? Could you imagine? What would be the reaction? I can't stand when President Obama stated, oh yeah, Flint water is safe. Could you imagine if Trump had done that? And I can't stand everything Baby Bush, the imbecile, the worst president who's ever, George W. Bush. I can't stand anything he's ever done. So you have this hilarious union, this unholy union of like the George W. Bush people, the conservatives, who are like, I just don't like Trump because he's so belligerent. Oh, I love the liberals of today, the Democrats. At least we see eye to eye in terms of personality and temperament. It's like, you're not talking about like some kind of pet. The temperament. It's like, yeah, I'll take my chances with Trump over Clinton. Or anyone in the Democratic Party. But especially in terms of temperament, I don't want to be around Clinton when she loses again. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? Anyway, give me your thoughts below. Check out H.A. Goodman's other channel right this second. Thank you so very much.